What is up, guys? It's Alex the Magician here, back for another Heroes 3 tier list, and this is a continuation of the tier list where I rank units based on how cool looking I think they are. So this one is going to be tier 2 units. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if you guys agree or disagree, if you would rank something differently and why. But obviously this is super subjective. It's just based on what I think looks good or cool and what doesn't. So at the very bottom here, I'm gonna rank the zombies. So zombies just get no love. They are the worst tier 2 unit and the worst looking tier 2 unit. So I mean, I just have them here because I feel like you could have definitely done something different with them. You know, the design team could have made them look cooler. Like they could have had, you know, I don't know, like blood coming from them or something like that. Like I don't really get their kind of brownish like leather armor or whatever the hell they're wearing, and the hammer. Like, why the hell does a zombie have a hammer? Yeah, you know. Don't really get to the design choices for that. You know, I feel like you could have made a zombie much cooler looking, but you know, to each his own, I guess. But to me personally, I just don't necessarily like the way these zombies look. All right, so next I'm gonna have the Seamen, I believe, the upgraded crewmates. They, you know, it's a pirate, and it's kind of like your standard pirate thing. So, you know, similar to how in my tier 1 tier list I ranked the halberdiers as the lowest because I felt like it was slightly unimaginative. Well, I feel like this one is maybe slightly unimaginative, right? It is a pirate. It's got like your standard pirate stuff, like he's got a bandana, he's got an earring, you know, kind of like a machete or whatever the hell that pirate sword is, and, you know, not much else to it than that. You could have potentially made them a little cooler looking, like, you know, I don't know, maybe give them a wooden leg or something like that, maybe a cooler hat. But overall, not the worst design, I would say. Just, I feel like is, you know, just slightly straightforward and a little bit unimaginative. All right, so next I'm gonna rank the archers, marksmen, right? So even though they are pretty standard, and also, you know, like a human character and a human, you know, archer, I do feel like they did a decent job with these. You know, the kind of armor, that like coif that they have, and like the chainmail and the crossbow and the blue and the white, I feel like does make them look decent. You know, again, not necessarily the most imaginative, but it is a human race. But as far as, you know, human archers go, I feel like they did a pretty good job with this one. All right, next I'm going to rank the Magog. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. You know, the fireball is nice. Their overall look is definitely a little bit more menacing than the imps and the familiars. They, you know, start to look a little bit more like demons, right? Something you would probably be scared if you saw. But the thing that I don't really like about them is just like the monotone red. I feel like, you know, maybe if they had some more contours or, you know, different colors kind of highlighting some of their like bone structure or something like that, or maybe at least their horns and the ears, like maybe make the eyes like more like glowing red or something like that, or, you know, maybe just a little bit bigger and more orange, you know, then they could look a lot cooler. But I just feel like that single monotone color is slightly a little bit lazy in terms of design. So for that reason, I have them a little bit lower than perhaps I could have. Like overall, I like the idea, like the concept of the character is kind of cool. It's cool that they're holding the fireball, but, you know, just not a huge fan of just like the monotone color. Alright, next I'm going to rank the Harpy Hag. So the Harpy Hag is actually kind of a cool concept, kind of a cool unit, and they look like they could be scary. Like those talents that they attack you with definitely, you know, look like they could do some damage, and it's kind of like half hawk, half, you know, person. But the thing that I always found weird about them, like overall, you know, I definitely like the character concept. I definitely like the creativity there. But I always found their hair weird. It's like, you know, it's like a monster, a female monster, but the hair is like half mohawk, half mullet. So I don't know, just I really always found that weird, and for that reason, like I could potentially have even ranked them at the top spot if it wasn't for that hair. Like I've always, you know, ever since I played the game like 20 years ago, I was like, man, that looks weird. Like you look at that as like half your head is bald and the other half is like a mohawk and a mullet. Like what is this? I don't get it. So yeah, I suppose for that reason I have them a little bit lower. Yeah, overall, like I said, interesting design, interesting concept, but I find the hair weird. Okay, next I'm going to rank the Air Elemental. And again, on this list, this is the only one that I feel like the unupgraded version looks a little bit cooler than the upgraded version. The upgraded version is just kind of gray. I'm not a huge fan of the... you know, both of them have kind of like the monotone color, but I do feel like the design is pretty interesting. I mean, it's like some, you know, humanoid-looking thing flying on top of a tornado. You know, it's kind of cool. I like it. I like the concept. I like the design. Even if, you know, probably would pick be the top spot for me if they, you know, maybe just kind of like outlined a little bit better, made the contours with maybe like black or something like that, with, you know, their like muscles or, you know, whatever you would call the muscle looking structures on you know, on an elemental. But overall, yeah, I like the concept. Yeah, just kind of wish they spent a little bit more time outlining it. Maybe, you know, making, you know, slightly different, maybe like a deeper blue somewhere, you know, different shades or something like that. And, you know, when you look at the Storm Elemental, it's just kind of gray. You know, it has even less of shading and kind of contrast than the Air Elemental. So I feel like the Air Elemental does look cooler. All right, next I'm going to rank the Wolf Raider, and mainly the Wolf Raider, I'm actually not a huge fan of the design. Like, you know, they basically took the Goblin from, it's pretty much the same thing, and just put him on top of a dog, right? But the reason that I do have them kind of high, top of the A tier here, is I feel like, you know, just the badass factor of it. You know, like it's a dude riding a dog, riding a wolf, actually, right? You know, if you saw that, you would probably freak out. And he also has a sword on top of it, right? So overall, you know, not super happy with how they designed it. I feel like they could have made it better, and, you know, maybe, you know, we're a little bit less lazy with just kind of copy and pasting the goblin there. But overall, yeah, just kind of like the badass factor of, you know, a goblin riding a wolf and, you know, also having a sword is definitely something that is to be admired. And for that reason, I have them on top of the A tier list here. All right, so now for the top tier. I actually am going to rank the dwarfs, the, what are they called? Dwarf Warriors? Battle Dwarves, that's right. So yeah, the Battle Dwarves, I feel like are pretty interesting as far as dwarves go. You know, it's kind of a solid standard design of a dwarf. I mean, a dwarf is a dwarf, right? You probably think of like Gimli from Lord of the Rings when you think of dwarves or something like that. But as far as standard designs for dwarves go, this is a pretty good one. I like the helmet with the horns. I like the hammer. Like the beard is kind of cool, and you know, they are like the short and stocky guys, but you definitely can tell that they're kind of powerful, you know. So overall, I feel like they did a solid job with a standard design. So usually, you know, I'm not liking the less imaginative ones, but for this one, I felt like it was pretty good looking. All right, and the final ones I feel like are the most interesting ones, and I actually kind of had trouble ranking these, and I would say there's not that much of a difference between them, but I have the Lizard Warriors as the next to the top tier, and the Obsidian Gargoyles as the top. And I think what made me rank the Obsidian Gargoyles higher is their glowing red eyes, you know, and it is like, it's almost what you would think of as a gargoyle, but overall, you know, it's a pretty cool design. And again, you know, I usually say that I don't like the monotone color, but I do think the black, kind of like that dark color, does give them a little bit more kind of a scary factor over the regular gargoyles, and especially if it makes their eyes kind of pop that much more. So I definitely feel like they're pretty badass looking, and you would definitely be scared if you saw these things. And they're made of rock, right? So yeah, I feel like these are the top tier, but the difference between them and the Lizard Warriors, I felt like was really, really close. I almost ranked the Lizard Warriors higher, and the Lizard Warriors themselves are pretty cool. You know, I do like the combination of color better. The blue and kind of like this like light brown, also like this kind of beige yellow color, and you know, just that. I don't know what you would call that part on. It's not a fin, but anyway, the head feathers or whatever you would call that on a lizard. I'm not even sure. Maybe somebody in the comments below can let me know. But yeah, anyway, I feel like that's cool, like little horns that they have, and you know, just kind of a lizard that walks upright and shoots a bow, I feel like is a pretty cool concept as well. Definitely give them A for creativity here, so I do like it. And I think the only reason, or the biggest reason why I rank the Obsidian Gargoyles higher is their red eyes. And just like, you know, you would just think that if you saw this thing that's like all like black obsidian, like pitch black looking with these glowing red eyes, you would freak out. But the Lizard Warriors are probably better in terms of creativity, since, you know, it's like they just came up with something out of the blue, right? There's no, you know, there is a gargoyle in mythology, but there's no Lizard Warrior in mythology, so they just kind of came up with, you know, an upright walking lizard, kind of how they did with a upright walking hyena with the gnoll. So both of these are pretty solid, I would say, but yeah, for me, the red glowing eyes amid the pitch black kind of body win it just slightly. All right, guys, well, that's it for this tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to see more Heroes 3 content in English, do check out my Twitch stream, link in the description below. And I will see you guys for the tier 3 units. Thanks once again for watching. See you soon. Peace out.